Welcome to this month's Head Gardeners video log. One of the things that makes Treba so special are these wonderful views and vistas that you get as you walk the garden. We've opened up these lovely picture windows which really do add to the impact and the drama as you walk the garden. There's lovely exotic form as you're looking out over the Trachycarpus here at the top by the cascade, and these wonderful foliage forms with the Tetrapanax and the bananas really adding to that drama, and in particular the bamboos as you look through the middle. The exotic appeal at Treba is what makes the garden so special. It's these lush foliage forms and fantastic colours you get come through, even going right the way through into September as we head towards autumn. One of the most spectacular at this time of the year is Hedychium coccineum tara. It's a wonderful vivid orange and has this lovely evergreen form which holds through the winter in Cornwall. This was actually a swap between Glendurgan, our neighbours next door. So they had a bit of one of our Hedychiums and then we swapped back for this one. So it's nice to see these gardens sharing plants between them, even though there's a bit of friendly rivalry. The Hedychiums really do add that dramatic effect in the garden. This one is Hedychium Devon Cream. It's probably the most spectacular for scent. It has this lovely, beautiful aroma, and you can really benefit from it as you walk down along Stewart Hills where we're standing now. It also has this lovely lush foliage which will carry on through the winter in the Cornish winters quite happily. We'll just tidy it up in the spring. If you do get colder conditions, you can also grow this, so it just needs a bit of a mulch to protect it through the winter. One of the most spectacular gingers in the garden at Treba is Hedychium gardnerianum. It has these huge flower heads and again this lovely evergreen form with the leaf which really carries through the winter, so giving that lovely exotic mix with the foliage and the flowers. It also has a wonderful scent, so a real bonus in the garden. The gunner is still just about standing up. It's had a bit of a bashing with a few of the storms we've had come through, but it'll still be there probably for the next few weeks. It's definitely one of those plants for that sort of dramatic appeal, and if you've got a bit of space in your garden and a wet area, it really does dominate and creates quite an effect. Hydrangeas in the garden really do give that great value with that longevity of flowering. The Hydrangea Valley at Treba started flowering in July and it's still going through into the early part of September. The hydrangeas on one side, the left-hand side, tend to be more shady, so they flower that bit later. So really they'll carry on flowering right the way through till Christmas. It really does add that value to Treba and also to her garden, I think, at home. One plant that really seems to survive well in our Cornish environment in the slightly damper summers that we get is Strobilanthes atropurpurea. It has these wonderful trumpet flowers which really sort of cover the plant through the late summer as you head into autumn. It's also a great plant for naturalising as well. It'll set seed and it'll seed itself around, so it really sort of fills an area very quickly. So great value for colour at this time of the year when it's much harder to find plants that really look good. If you're looking to add that exotic appeal in your garden, another great plant is Colocasia. This is Colocasia esculenta. It has these wonderful leaves which are really pretty as you head through summer. It holds the water beautifully, as you can see with these droplets of water. It actually dies back in the winter, but it's reasonably hardy in the Cornish climate. Sometimes just needs a bit of a mulch. It tends to prefer sort of humus-rich, moist soil, but not too wet. It really does well down by the sort of water side as you see it planted here. Another great plant for dramatic effect at this time of the year is the incense bush, or Ageratina ligustrinum. It has these wonderful white flowers which are adorned and covered with bees and butterflies. It really does create that wonderful display, and it also has a lovely scent which is particularly brought out by a little bit of dampness in the air. So it really is worthy of a place in your garden if you have a bit of space. If you've got a really troublesome, very dry bank and you're looking for a plant that'll take those conditions, this is Alcyonaria californica. It has these wonderful bright orange flowers which go on for probably 3 or 4 months, so a long flowering period, and it will gradually sort of fill those gaps and crevices as it moves along and takes over. It's a wonderful plant for late interest in the garden. Another great scented wanderer at this time of year is Clerodendron trichotomum varfargesii. It has these wonderful white flowers which really do have a great perfume. You have to be a bit careful though, because it does tend to sucker, so it will take over if you're not if given half a chance, so do keep an eye on it, but it's worth it for this, and then the seed pods which form later in the year. Another clerodendron that has great scent is Clerodendron bungii. It has these wonderful, vivid, deep pink flowers and a wonderful scent, set off against this lovely dark green leaf. It's actually deciduous, it'll die back in the winter, but it does sucker, so you'll have to be careful if you're going to plant it in your garden, just to keep it under control. As we head through into sort of late summer and into early autumn, it's great to see there's still a lot of colour in the court garden. You can see the salvias starting to flower as we move through into this time of the year, and then things like the ricinus with a lovely sort of foliage form, and the bananas, and then some great sort of colour coming through from things like the verbena. So it really does show that you can actually create quite a long season of colour in herbaceous borders. We'll just change this up a little bit as we move through into the autumn. We'll take out a few of those plants that have gone over, and then we'll put in a few seasonal bits of interest just to continue it through the shoulder months until we get through into next year in the spring and summer. And we'll also add some pots with some bulbs in as well, just to sort of shake it up and change it up. And the great thing about the court garden is it's very much about evolving and changing and adding new things. It won't be set in stone, it won't be the same every year. So it'll be exciting to see it as it changes year on year.